Bunnycast, episode 41, recorded on October 21st, 2010. This episode is so gay.
Gay. A word in the Webster's Dictionary. Gay. Adjective. Merry, airy, jovial, sportive, frolicsome. It denotes more life and animation than cheerful. Belinda smiled, and all the world was gay. Fine, showy, as a gay dress. Inflamed, or merry with liquor, intoxicated, or a vulgar use of the word in America.
In these times of trouble, evil stalks the land, crime runs rampant, and the world cries out for a hero. Only one man can answer the call and save the region of Mopaville from certain destruction. His true identity is hidden, but he is known by the people as Super Elliot. Elliot, the bravest man of all. Elliot, he stands 7 feet tall. Elliot, the hero of Mopaville. Elliot, no one can match his skill.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Bunnycast. It is, again, episode 41. We are inching our way towards episode 50. Isn't everybody happy?
Yeah, stay a while and listen.
Sure, why not?
This is why we can't have nice things! Joining me, Dame Helennet the LeatherClad, is Sir Xepharon the Prepared. We also have... Stop it. We also have ChroniclerC and Ajac.
Hey.
Hi there.
Start randomly throwing out quotes from Diablo as Deckard Cain.
Quote away. I won't get any of them.
Blasphemer. I just realized that my computer case has a small crack in it.
Oh no.
It's 3 years old. This one will eventually. It's been 3 years old. It's been in the desert and back. It's been to hell and it's been thrown around. It's a good shit.
It deserves a crack or two.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, for those of you who are joining us and have no idea what the Bunnycast is, first off, that's not our usual intro music. Stop it. Second, yes, we do tangent hard. Third, the Bunnycast is the official, unofficial, semi-official,
Unofficial.
Quasi-official.
superficial
Pseudo-official.
Podcast for the Bunny community. The Bunny community is the fan community, the official fan community for the webcomic El Goonish Shive, a webcomic which was created in the bizarre mind of Dan Shive, whose works can be found at either dishshive.com, egscomics.com, DeviantArt, and other places fine comics are perused. For those of you who have not read El Goonish Shive, it is Dan's primary art venue.
Read it.
Yes. Or the owl will eat you. And if you don't get that, you have not read the comic.
And thus the owl is going to proceed to eat you.
I don't want to be eaten. I'm rather stringy, and I'm not healthy.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about the comic than we usually would in the podcast, just because it is somewhat pertinent to this episode. The comic features the wacky hijinks that a bunch of teenagers get into.
They're wacky.
Yes, they are quite wacky. There's some angst in there, but for the most part, it's a lot of wacky adventures.
Well, really, you can't have a good...
Silly back.
You really can't have a good story without some angst. I mean, you got to have something suspenseful and depressing to happen to make it, like, actually not just, well, for all definitions, gay.
Yes. Now, there are several things about this that makes it pertinent to this episode. Number one, it has at least one lesbian character. Okay.
One lesbian, one bi.
One lesbian, one that
one
is
bi.
technically lesbian, but there's some fudging in there that make them more bi. There's a gay character. There's definitely a transgender character.
Just one?
And then there's one that's by definition pan.
Yes, and I'm sure there's a poly in there somewhere. And then you have Susan, who just hates everybody.
And then we have a Ted sexual.
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's the pan.
And what would you call Elliot now? I mean...
Complicated.
Let's go with that.
So...
Straight male, but not always physically. I don't know.
Not always physically straight?
Not always physically male.
And yes, if you are joining us for the first time, there's a long story behind that, too.
Please don't run away screaming. Come back.
Come back! Come back!
If you are joining for the first time, it does make more sense in context, but not much.
Yes, if you have ever read the manga Ranma 1/2, that's a good warm-up exercise for this comic. So,
I'm sure Greg would agree.
So, if you do read the comic, we do enjoin you to join in with the forum bunnies. Again, the bunnies are the official fan community of Elgoonish Shive, and that's a long story as well. We're not going to go into it this time because we've been through it before, and I've just spent more time explaining why we're not going into it than it would take to have actually explained it. So, moving on.
I can community summarize.
Yes. Community.910cmx.com is the place to go for the bunny community.
A few of us are still holding out in the Keen Spot forums in the Mayhem sub-forum.
I remember when we had just... Damn it, I screwed that up. I'm going to try that again. 910 CMX. When I was your age, I was happy to just have Keen Spot.
Oh, yeah? Well, I remember when it was just a Yahoo group.
Ooh.
Rode dinosaurs to work that morning, did you?
No, we didn't even have dinosaurs. We had those things.
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. Oh, no?
No, pre-Flintstones. It was we were writing celebites to our island destinations.
Well, I suppose I could create a song about cellular level stuff.
Already been done.
Damn it. Always 2 steps behind.
Yes. Well, at least you're always guaranteed to be prepared because you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible of me. So, speaking of the forums, let's talk about forum news.
910 CMX community.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, backwards. Community.910cmx.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
I'll play dun 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 backwards.
Okay, so if you go into the EGS general discussion, we have at the top of the list the perennial, we'll call it, strip slaying. And I really do love strip slaying. It's kind of a cross between fan art and creative writing and Mad Libs and just plain silly.
I made a few strip slays. I made a...
I've never made one myself, but I do greatly appreciate them. They are quite funny.
I get that one.
Which one?
Gory, what a hell of a way to die, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Old military cadence.
Gotcha. There are 110 pages in this discussion, so it's hardly new, but there are plenty of strip slays for the average person to peruse, bunny or no. And for the most part, it's quite enjoyable. Like, for instance, this first one here, listed under the thread starter, You Will Never Know. It shows a female Ted on top of a male Grace, but of course, knowledge of the characters is unnecessary for this. Ted is saying, I appear stuck. Grace says, see, I told you my slight obsession with glue could be used for good.
So, I gotta get back into strip slays. Like I said, I've made like 2. Ever.
In the art gallery thread, we have Sith 12345's thread, some fan art. And
that's interesting. That's the same number that I have as a combination of my briefcase.
Damn it! I keep telling you to change that. Ever since the atmospheric controls were unlocked, because some idiot didn't change it. So,
save Mel Brooks, wherever he may be.
He's turning over in his grave.
He's not dead.
He would be turning over in his grave. He's turning over in his bed.
Okay, so anyways, he links directly to some photo bucket linkery. And so far, it's a pretty brief little thread, so go take a look at his fan art and offer up a intelligent and hopefully positively critical review. And when I say positively critical, I don't mean being simperingly good. I mean actually giving good feedback.
Actually, I won't lie. That's not too bad.
I will admit I have not even clicked through on the links yet. I've been a little busy. So clicking.
I mean,
hey, wow, that's pretty good.
A little bit of practice, and you'll do pretty good.
Yeah. So
I like Ted. Look at Ted. You gotta look at Ted. Ted's cool. Ted's my hero. I have a degree in Ted. I have a degree in Tedology. Certified by the EGS seal of approval. I just need to find that picture. I just need to find that picture that I created somewhere because it's totally phony. I mean, real.
So, in the off-topic forums, we have a mention of NaNoWriMo. And by golly, if I can remember what that actually means, it's
National Novel
Month.
Writing Month.
What is it?
National Novel Writing Month.
Right, and you have to write, what is it, a 50,000 word book in 1 month.
Okay, so I get how this is now spelled then. I was trying to figure out NaNoWriMo. I'm like, is this like some, like, sort of like the distant cousin city of Las Vegas and Reno combined?
What?
No, when I first heard it, I thought it was like
Several times removed?
Remote-controlled nanobots?
NaNoWriMo, Robot Wars, Sci-Fi Channel, or no, Spike TV? The whole bot
sci-fi
battle?
doesn't do sci-fi anymore.
Yeah.
It's the Stargate channel, didn't you know?
I totally had a thought. My girlfriend, who does watch Stargate and Battlestar, if she ever has a day off where she's not at school or work on a recording day, she is totally going to be yelling into my microphone from across the room when she hears whatever we're talking about when it comes to Battlestar or yep.
Battlestar, Stargate, or Star Trek.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm totally going to get her on one of these podcasts one of these times. She hasn't read EGS yet, but I did give her the books and said she has to read them. And
Wired material.
but she is just as much a nerd as I am, if not more. She has her own dice bag, thank the gods. And it's full of dice. She has video games. She plays Munchkin. She was ecstatic when I showed her
Munchkin.
She was ecstatic when I showed her my deck of Munchkin.
Ah. So, pulling the tangent back to
Pull up!
the topic. For those bunnies who are interested in NaNoWriMo, that's actually a surprisingly accurate or apt quote considering the avatar of Overlord 808 who started the NaNoWriMo thread. It's Luke Skywalker carrying Cloud's Buster Sword.
Wait. Where's this exactly again? I want to see. I have got to see this.
Elgunish Shive off-topic forum on 910 CMX.
Looking. I just tend to for anyone who's actually curious, I don't actually look at my computer screen. I just kind of stare off into space and just talk at the podcast. Oh, that is win. I want that movie.
It's amazing, but some things should just not be allowed to happen.
Final star 7.
My dear gods. Why?
Why not? It's Cloud's Buster Sword.
Because this way we can almost guarantee that George Lucas will be tied up in the closet while the people who actually can write are going to take the helm.
This just means that now I have to totally Photoshop Darth Vader with a Sephiroth's sword.
Oh my goodness!
Do it!
Or no, because I'd have to actually use Darth Maul because the double thing is long.
No.
Somehow.
No, what you have to do is you have to take Sephiroth and give him Darth Vader's lightsaber.
I like that better.
That could probably work better, yeah.
I'm totally going to take a screenshot of the final fight and do that.
Okay, now here's something out for the Bunny community. If you can give us a mashup of One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII and the Imperial March.
And make it sound good.
Yes, it has to sound good.
Yeah.
Lucky for you, I have been playing with this audio software that actually lets me create music.
Run!
Guess what I'm gonna do?
Run!
Flee for your lives!
Don't look back or you'll turn into a pillar of salt. NaNoWriMo.
Yes,
Stay
people
on
are
target.
now. People are. Stay on target. Yes, people are now giving me funny looks.
It's only
Yes!
a matter of time.
So, NaNoWriMo, if you do want to participate, which I highly welcome any bunnies who want to do so, especially if you don't have kids and if you don't have a day job, even if you are at
Or a
school.
life.
Or anything to do during the month of November at all.
Or in general at all. Doesn't have to be November,
No.
but preferably November.
Having paid attention to the people who have participated in the NaNoWriMo challenge in the past, yeah, but hey, it's actually what 4 or 5 years on running now. But NaNoWriMo competitors in the past have said the following: the quality of what you put down is immaterial as long as you keep writing.
I'm just reading the first post here. For those who don't know exactly what it is, it's basically a challenge to see if you can write a 50,000-word book in 1 month, specifically November. Attempting it is quite possibly the sign of a severe mental disorder. Probably, now this is not being quoted, probably OCD.
Or, as the original poster said in his signature, sometimes I suffer from ADHLAS, attention deficit. Hey, look, a squirrel!
I was about to say, yeah, for those of you with ADD, ADHD, or anything that has anything to do with... Do not attempt.
Yeah, you probably won't succeed. I have difficulty, and I have actually written novels in the past.
I tried. It took me a course of about 3 months, and I got 12 pages. Because I kept getting... It's like whenever I do my art stream. I spend about a full week of doing art and actually maybe 6 hours of actual work. Because I got people watching my live stream, and they see me going off on like different websites like DeviantArt or Affinity, YouTube, different things, and just whatever they link me, I tend to click on.
Yeah, half of it is the fault of the people in the thing sending you links.
Here, can you play this music? Sure. What is it? Just click on it. Okay.
Click.
Why am I getting a remix of Rick Astley with the Star Wars theme?
So, let's move on to the newbie forum. We have a newbie, Professor Craven, in his thread entitled What's Up? And we have yet another bunny who comes to us from the TV Tropes website. We are going to have to actually look into the EGS page on TV Tropes.
We're taking
Oh
over.
no! Wear a life cord. Pull out.
I've actually been there before. It's quite an
I live there. I'm there right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, we've lost you. Sorry. We mourn you, my friend.
and
Come on, CC.
they,
Join us.
We are taking over the interwebs.
so,
Card games on motorcycles.
there is another newbie showing up that it's clear they're not truly a 100% full-on newbie, because they are also posting in Urumoko a full paragraph of Urumoko.
I'm not going to bother reading it.
But for those who were interested, from the last time we introduced somebody who spoke in wrote, I should say, in Urumoko, you can go to, they actually post a link, www.ooki, and that's ookii.org/EGS/Urion. I'm spelling that. URYUOM.
Orion.
Orion.
Urion.
So it's uki dot what?
Uki.org/EGS/ word that it sounds like you're eating a mouthful of Oreos.
I just wanted to get to the actual
what do you
website.
think? Oreo? Haskins, you're right.
Genius.
Ow.
So the next... oh, yes, you are indeed at Starbucks. There's the ubiquitous timer that they have going every so often. We have...
I'm looking at this Uryumoko translator, and all I have to ask to the people that developed this thing, why?
Because
this is going to be the next language and religious cult. The last one was Star Trek, and my father is fluent in Klingon.
I object to the implication that the Star Trek cult has had its day and is past.
Oh, it's not past yet. I'm just saying that was the last one that took place.
Playing
I think.
the part of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory will be Ajac tonight.
I need to start watching that. Everyone keeps saying I'm Sheldon.
wow, he does kind of sound like Ajac, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And Ajac, if you were to increase your use of quantum theory in everyday speech just a little bit more, it probably would be unmistakable.
Oh, no.
Let me make this easier. Let me make this easier for him. Take the level of Arthurian mythos and replace that with the thing we were talking about.
Don't
and then it will.
So, another newbie, Adaminator.
Speaking of which, post mayhem.
Yes. Adaminator. Who says, "A storm cometh," in other words, hi. And this is another person from TV Tropes. And they immediately posted some stuff that they did in Lightwave. So it's like, wow. And I love their user information. Their avatar is just a bunch of fire, and it says explosions and stuff. And underneath that, the status is Resident Guy turned Cat Girl. Ted approved. I like this person.
So do I.
I'm sure they're a stand-up citizen.
I'm totally translating translating the Uryumoko paragraph, which I am reading now.
Okay.
Which it's kind of amusing because I love how this translator actually has different drop-down boxes for different things for possible fill in the blanks or discrepancies. So I mean, like for example, it has a drop down box for El Gunish or for Gunish out of El Gunish Shive, and the different things are Gunish, Guniash, Guniak. Shive is Shive, Shiav. I don't even know how to pronounce that. ACIVE, ACIAVE. Yeah, it's amusing.
So, another newbie, Alarain, I believe is pronounced, or Alarain. Aileron! No, that's the plain part.
Alderaan, I mean.
No, that's from Star Wars. It's got a cute little dancing avatar in her signature, which indicates a very high likelihood that this is an art bunny, which we do welcome. We love our art bunnies.
And which one is this? Alarain. Okay. I'm 2 steps behind as usual.
Only 2?
And
3,
I think
2.5.
This is our last newbie intro for the episode. The Iron Flower emerges, posted by Fliara48, I think. Note to anybody who wants to join the forums, please choose a pronounceable name, because these can get used in conversation.
Yeah, kind of like, where is it? I gotta go find it. It was one person that was a while ago that started the newbie topic, whose name is rather unpronounceable, and I can't find it on the first page. I will randomly blurt it out as Helen still couldn't pronounce it.
So, Fliara48 posts, "Hello, miserable peasants, it is I, Fliara48.
I like her already.
Yes.
Or him, I'm not sure yet.
And to which Kahadras Fierla replies, "Hello, impudent mortal, and welcome to insanity."
I must post on this thread now. She is now given promptly the gift of an oil change for all your Transformer dreams.
So,
I gotta play on 910 more.
Yes, many should. So let's get to the comic news. As we all know, it is focusing very much on Elliot the last few strips, which is cool because Elliot is now Super Elliot, or should that be Super Ellen?
No. It's Super Elliot, who just happens to be female.
I personally like Superette Elliot. I mean, you know.
Yeah, Superette Elliot.
I like it.
Okay, let me ask you, would you not, if you've never been able to fly before and you're wearing the superhero thing, and you're told to go somewhere and you're just flying to wherever the hell you're going, some grossly clean bathroom, you're flying, tell me you two would not just fly. I'm getting more strange looks at me. New people, though. New customers.
As long as it's different people. Now, I have two observations on the last frame of the comic for Wednesday, October 20th. Number one, what is it with Dan and the girls with glasses? And number two, does that not look an awful lot like Tess?
Give me a second. I'm
It
looking.
does, doesn't it?
Actually, the first thing that came to my mind was Velma.
That's what I was thinking.
Well,
Yeah, that too, but Velma looks like... Well, Tess looks like Velma, too.
exactly.
Velma was around first. Tess looks like Velma.
Well, I'm sure that there's some strange Urumoko device that manipulates time so we can put Tess in continuity before Velma.
Speaking of which, out of random curiosity, I have no idea where this came from, but what would the alternate gender version of Scooby-Doo be? Think about that for a while.
There's actually somebody actually did art of that.
Oh, God. Oh,
It's
God.
the
Internet.
Everything.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. I am face palming right now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it.
You have forgotten the internet rules, haven't you?
I had a nice check with reality. I have one of these things called a girlfriend now, suddenly, recently, which is really cool. If you don't have one, you should get one.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I hadn't had one for so long, and then all of a sudden I got one, and what's the internet anymore? I forgot, and then I came back to it, and I says, oh my God, I missed this place. Whoa.
You know,
I have to show her the internet now.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Actually, she
Don't you
has
know there's no girls on the internet?
she has created hundreds of lolcats images. Yes, she is a lolcat image person. She also plays on Failbook, My Life is Average, Learn from My Fail, and a few others.
So,
And failblog.org, one of my favorite ones.
yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have tangented very, very hard. This is a
Stay
normal
on
occurrence.
target.
Make sure you wear your necklace.
pull up! Pull up!
Mr. Spock, please change course to tangent. Correct tangent, that is.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Captain. The controls have been locked out by a strange race known as the Bunnies.
Mr. Spock, more information, please.
Good God, we're off topic! Okay, miscellaneous news.
Stay on target. Get that sound bite.
I will have it by the time this podcast is released.
Oh boy. The reason we had an unusually long gap between podcasts, a 2-week gap in fact, is when on the day that we were supposed to be recording the last one, I was actually in LA suffering from a abysmal lack of internet connection. And not necessarily through any fault of my own, but because the internet at the hotel was so abysmally bad, I would try to connect via Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi would disappear literally as I was going to the login webpage.
I don't know. I mean, if you're on like some kind of business trip, I would have thought that would have been an abysmal lack of free time.
Well, there was that as well. That Thursday I happened to be out until like 11 at night, but that was only because I knew I wouldn't have any internet to come back to at the hotel.
It's cyclical.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could always do what I'm doing today. I drove to a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Get this. Okay, I know this is off topic, but I'm just going to not have my miscellaneous news of myself later on. I recently
Me banging my head on the wall.
harder. I can't hear it. Harder. So yes. So I haven't yet fully moved to Houston yet, but I am currently in Houston, Texas at the time of this recording. Needless to say, I have no clue where the hell anything is at. Thank God for GPS. It took me almost half an hour to find the damn Starbucks, which is half a mile from where I'm staying.
You don't have an iPhone? Oh, wait, you don't have an iPhone.
I'm poor, no.
Well, there's an answer for that. Cricket, which is now a national carrier, has a $129 Android phone with a obscenely cheap data plan.
$45 a month, or is it like 60? Because if $60 a month, actually, shit, that's cheaper than my phone plan.
Exactly.
My phone plan has like 400 or 500 minutes of talk time per month, not including free nights and weekends after 9 o'clock, and holidays. Well, some holidays, and unlimited text.
Exactly. This plan is obscene.
I need to get this.
Yeah, you do. And if I had the $129 whatever it is dollars spare, I would already have one.
I've got my credit card, which is currently blank and empty,
bad.
and I have $500
bad.
no charge on it. Yeah,
Bad
why?
movie. Bad.
Why?
No.
Why?
Debt is bad. I'm gonna have
Max
to,
Max roll of newspaper. Bam.
But it builds credit.
Out
and
and equal
stuff.
conference. Bad internet.
It only builds credit if you can pay for it.
Hey, I have been able to pay for my credit card things. In fact, my credit
Otherwise, it just
score.
builds debt.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have a credit score of 709, which is pretty darn good for my age.
Getting back to the Out and Equal conference, for those
Stay
who
on
are
target.
unfamiliar, the Out and Stop it. The Out and Equal conference is literally a business conference. The attendees were all there for their companies. So it's not like other gay, lesbian, trans, etc., other alphabet soup conventions that you might have heard of or attended. This was very clean-cut, straight-laced, as straight as you can get at a Out and Equal conference. But,
Whenever I eat alphabet soup, it always spells out derogatory names at me.
yeah! Anyways. Oh, that's a reference nobody's going to get. Okay. So, but it was very, very, very awesome. The keynote speaker, one of the keynote speakers for the opening day was a transgender woman, male to female, who is a filmmaker, and she made a documentary, which I'll have to look up the name of, Prodigal Sons, that's what it was, about going back to her family as a transgender and to be. She's also going to her high school reunion, and the documentary was supposed to be about the high school reunion, but it wound up being more about the family.
I saw an episode of Law and Order that actually featured someone who was TG. It was a rather depressing episode, actually.
I have found that TV does an absolutely abominable job of representing transgender people.
I don't know. This episode was actually really good. Basically, she, for the sake of the character's mindset, she, formerly he, still had the final operation to go through. But for all other intents and purposes, other than the whole area down there had everything, was female. Mm-hmm. And, well, at one point, they were at she and her boyfriend were at a party, stuff happened, next thing we know, there's someone's dead, and it was, in fact, her fault. Long story short, there was a trial thing. She was found guilty, but they decided they were going to do some kind of appeal because the biggest issue was, where is she going to go for jail? Well, sure, she is mostly female, except for one region, which the state looks at as male. And you know what would happen if they go to an all-male prison? Well,
they'd probably be dead in a week.
Well, that very night, the prosecuting attorney who didn't want to be the prosecuting attorney, but was the one being hired for it, and I understand the irony in this and the fact that, you can decline that position. But that night, she gets a call, and she has to go to the hospital to see this very same woman who was beaten, bruised, bloodied, and everything, who was apparently gang raped.
Yep.
Here's
That's
the
actually pretty
wonderful
impressive.
Optimism on order.
What was that?
That
Do
was
what?
about a foot of sarcasm.
I didn't even hear what you said. Skype cut out, like it always does at crucial moments. Kind of like how my phone just randomly makes noises at crucial moments.
I said something in praise of Law and Order's resounding optimism.
Well.
So, getting back to the Out and Equal conference, it was a lot of fun, and there will be a point I would actually like to get.
It's kind of like CSI. It's so damn depressing because people are always dying.
I would like to get a presence from the bunnies there as like sponsors of the event, because we have a lot of LBGT and ally bunnies.
LBGT?
Lesbian.
Oh, right.
Bisexual.
Okay, bisexual.
Alphabet soup.
Right. Yeah,
Or,
okay.
or
Gotcha.
there's BLT.
That sounds
BLTG.
too much like a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually an amusing presentation on. It was only like maybe 4 or 5 minutes long, but on which letter comes first, which comes second, and so on and so forth. Because there was always division in the ranks about who should be first on that list. There's
I have a simple solution. Alphabetize it. Put it in freaking alphabetical order. Problem solved. There's no discrimination. It's just alphabetical order.
They're arguing over which letter comes first. They are literally arguing over who's on first.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like I said, just put it in alphabetical order. Problem solved. There's no discrimination. It's just putting it in where. If you want to blame anyone, blame Webster.
So,
Ash?
no,
You spoke to me.
Stop
No.
it! Stop it!
Okay. Back to topic.
Yes.
Stay on target.
Because it is too big a topic to pass up, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up anyway. Don't ask, don't tell. Dead in the water! Fire that torpedo. Kill it dead!
Fire photon torpedo.
For those who are unfamiliar, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is the United States military policy regarding homosexuals. They are, under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, immediately ejected from the military dishonorably if they are found to be homosexual. Thus,
Which I think is dumb.
now, nobody's allowed to ask if they're gay, but somehow these undercover sting operations happen anyway to find out if they're gay. Which is really...
Because humans are humans.
Really
and they're
stupid.
dicks.
Yes, exactly.
Like I said, humans are dumb. In general. Nothing personal to you, oh listener.
A person is smart. People are stupid.
Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large numbers.
A federal court judge has overturned Don't Ask, Don't Tell under the very sound legal reasons, having nothing to do with, but it's a mean law. No, it's this harms our military's...
It's discrimination.
It's discriminatory. It harms our military's ability to be prepared in times of combat or war, and it's an inhibition of free speech.
I won't lie. Some of the most intelligent and effective people that I know are of the non-straight orientation.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that I was noticing at the Out and Equal conference, and it wasn't necessarily that everybody was smarter there than, say, a bunch of straight people. It was more...
Open-minded.
Not even that. It was more the spirit of inquiry was alive and well, which is something you don't see when people are so sure that this is the way the world is. That's one of the things, and we're going to get to this more in part 2.
The quickest way to be wrong is to be sure that you're right.
Exactly.
But I'm always right.
The thing that pisses me off about the church that I go to is that there's no spirit of inquiry there. I mean, my aunt attends a church, and the people there are practically flat earthers. They don't quite believe in a flat earth, but some of their beliefs are that close. And
now, when you say spirit of inquiry, I imagine you are speaking about a person's willingness to ask questions to learn, as opposed to just listen to what you're told and assume that's the correct thing.
Exactly. And even these people who are one step away from flat earthers have more of a willingness to learn and explore and find things out than the majority of the people that I go to church with.
Which is the awesome thing about my girlfriend. When she found out that I was a furry, she was just like...
You are just all over this girlfriend thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do all the love songs make sense now?
All the which what?
All the love songs, do they make sense now?
Yes.
So, ChroniclerC...
We're no strangers to love. No.
Stop it.
It's a little love
Stay on target.
But no, the cool thing was that she didn't have any idea what a furry was, but she'd heard about it from other people, but she didn't actually. She is of that mindset. Well, she's never actually spoken to someone who is, so she wasn't going to, have any opinions or anything until she actually found out from someone who actually is, namely me. So that was cool. God, I love her so much.
Yeah, sounds like a good position to take. So, ChroniclerC, moving smoothly, into
you keep telling yourself that.
into DeviantArt. Go.
Okay, so DeviantArt is going all purple and stuff, and they're honoring Spirit Day, apparently, which is honoring teens who are fighting back against anti-BLTG bullying.
Well, it should be noted that Spirit Day did not start this year. However, it's much more prominent this year because of all the teen suicides that have occurred in the last month or so because of, as you say, the bullying.
This is going to sound very morbid, but damn, if only they would have waited another month or two.
Yeah, that was a little morbid, but
there's truth in it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the poor choice of comedy, my belief on this particular subject, suicide. Why? I mean, because if you do that, you're going to miss out on what could come up, and hey, who knows? Something good might just be getting ready to happen, and you're going to miss it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
After my own stint with depression, I've kind of always viewed suicide as kind of a coward's way out. I mean, it's not only are you running away from your problems in the most ultimate way possible, it's you're dumping all of your problems onto your friends and family.
And creating more problems.
Do you really think you have it so bad that it is okay for you to dump all the problems of your death, all that sadness, all that grief onto your friends and family?
Well, that's the problem with despair. That's exactly what despair does. It makes you think that no matter how terrible the grief that comes from your death is, it cannot possibly be worse than the despair you're feeling right now. It's a very insidious system.
I have attempted to walk down that road before, and I will say that it is a very dark, very lonely road. But
now you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, this was years and years ago. Again, the whole high school, middle school thing, and the whole. I'm definitely going to summarize it. Basically, I was that kid in school that everybody picked on. I was that kid that everybody didn't seem to like or care for or even know existed. That I was the kid that a lot of people actually decided I was the target to beat up. I did not have a rather spiritually healthy high school days at all. But even so, after going down that road, after feeling that depression, suicidal, I realized that no matter how bad it gets, and it can get pretty shitty, but even with that, it can get better.
I'm going to chime in two parts here. First off, my entire family suffers from depression on my dad's side. My sister's manic depressive. I'm clinically depressive. My dad's clinically depressive with complications from an auto accident and brain damage. My aunt is depressive, and she does not listen to her doctors. I have another aunt that's borderline, and an uncle that is taking medications for his. My grandpa was probably depressive, and it probably just keeps going back. So for me, it's like I just dealt with this all my life, and it was always a matter of intelligence for me. Because when you think about it, suicide solves none of your problems.
you tend to take yourself with you wherever you go.
Right. And now let's say...
I don't know. I tend to leave my mind at home a lot.
Let's say for the sake of argument that the atheists are right and there's nothing after you die. Well, if that's the case, by, quote, solving your problems by killing yourself, you don't get to enjoy the benefits of having, quote, solved the problem.
No problem.
But if all the deists are right, the people who have a belief in God, you're killing yourself, you're taking your problems with you, and then you have the old man tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Excuse me, WTF?"
BBQ? OMG!
Exactly.
Oh my god, what the fuck, Dairy Queen barbecue?
If you look at it from just the intellectually driven view, it doesn't make any sense. And that's one of the thing that always kept me from acting out on my depression. Because it's just like, why would I do something that dumb? Anyways, the second part is there's a growing movement to make videos called It Gets Better. And some of them are being sponsored by companies. I know Google is doing one. Some of them are just done by individuals.
Are we still talking about the suicide thing or the other thing?
We're still talking about the suicide thing.
Okay, because I got something also when you're done.
One thing I'm thinking about doing is doing a Order of the Bunny, It Gets Better, or just a Bunny fan group, It Gets Better. Thinking about it, there's reasons I'm hesitant for it right at the moment, but it would be an awesome opportunity for the older, more experienced bunnies who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, etc., to be able to say, you know what, yeah, I had these experiences when I was a kid, but it gets better. So, go on, Zeph.
Yeah, now I have two things to talk about. Yeah, me falling into one of those categories. You can probably guess which one, considering that I have a girlfriend. But yeah, it does. Anyway, if you are feeling suicidal and whatnot, there's a song that I would suggest listening to. Now, I would say listen to the entire thing, because the first half of the song does kind of make you think, yeah, suicide sounds all right. But if you listen to the whole thing, you realize that there's a lot that you're missing out on. It's a song by Bobby Garrel, which is aptly titled "Suicide." Well, I don't know if it's really a song so much as the music in the background is kind of talking to you, but it's a good piece of music. It really is a good piece of music. It really is, and I suggest looking for it, listen to it. Probably go to YouTube and look up "Suicide." Bobby Garrel. I believe his last name is Gayrol. But check it out. Check it out.
Ajac, on a completely unrelated note, you were going to talk about Jon Stewart.
Well, not completely unrelated note.
Back on target.
Jon Stewart is having... okay, we should really start with the beginning. Several weeks ago, Glenn Beck, in his resplendent madness, hosted a rally on the steps of the Washington Monument, which coincidentally happened to be on the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Had a Dream speech. Complete coincidence! Not planned in any way!
I detect strong levels of sarcasm with this one.
You think? But no, so Jon Stewart...
The sarcasm is strong with this one.
Jon Stewart, in response, declared that he was going to host a rally to restore sanity on the National Mall, Washington, D.C., on noon on October the 30th. And the tagline for it is, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it in a war. Who among us has not wanted to open their window and shout that at the top of their lungs?" No, seriously, who? Our rally is for people who've been too busy to go to rallies, who actually have lives and families and jobs, or are looking for jobs. Not so much the silent majority as the busy majority. And I would like to point out to my fellow bunnies, yes, I know we revel in our lack of sanity, but we should still support this, and I'll tell you why. If everybody else is as insane as we are, we will lose the franchise. Got to support Jon Stewart in this, or we will not get our royalty checks.
You're getting paid for this?
If you're not too keen on restoring sanity, Stephen Colbert is staging a counter rally in the exact same place at the exact same time called March to Keep Fear Alive, and you are encouraged to show up in disguise, which is to say, since the day before Halloween, show up in your Halloween costume.
I could totally do that.
As great as it is that they're, exciting people into doing some, stuff that resembles political activism, this is pure entertainment.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify for the bunnies that this is not actually political activism. Glenn Beck is a TV personality, or TV or is he radio? I know he's radio. Okay,
good
so
job.
Glenn Beck is an entertainment personality. Colbert is an entertainment personality. Stewart is an entertainment personality.
But Stewart's informative.
Well, no, I would respectfully disagree with you a little on that, because yes, Stephen Colbert's thing is almost purely entertainment, and Jon Stewart is an entertainer, but there is a genuine feeling in this that they want to, try and get away from these really extremist views. We want to remind people that there is a political conversation going on that does not have to be shouted at the top of your lungs. It is entertainment value, but it's a joke that actually has a purpose behind it, so to speak.
And besides, the best way to teach someone is to entertain them. That's how you need to make sure that they remember it. Make it memorable by making it entertaining.
I don't know. I think one of the good ways, probably not my favorite way, but a good way to make someone remember something is pain.
Seriously, I wouldn't have become such a well-rounded individual as I am now if Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers hadn't kept me entertained as a child.
Did you know that Mr. Rogers was a Green Beret?
Did you know that Mr. Rogers was a Presbyterian minister?
What?
Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, was a Presbyterian minister, and every one of those sweaters he wore every day was hand-knit by his own mother.
They were also meant to cover up the tattoos and war scars.
That's actually an urban legend.
Is it?
He does have some tattoos from his time in the Navy, but they are traditional Navy tattoos, anchors, slightly naked women, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but you can't have that on a kid's show.
Yeah.
True.
So
Much as I would have loved it, but
I did not know that about Mr. Rogers. That's awesomely cool.
What about the Green Beret? You didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Ooh.
In any case, I do agree with you on, stuff needs to be entertaining for it to be memorable. I mean, to this day, I still remember there was a show called Square One Television. Nobody remembers it.
It actually sounds vaguely familiar.
So some of their songs were like the most effective way of conveying mathematical concepts, and they had a segment. It was like 5 to 10 minutes long that spun out onto its own show after a while. Mathnet, thank you. And
Mathnet.
Some of those are so memorable that I still remember those, but I don't remember any of the math classes I was taking that were supposed to have taught me those concepts.
I still remember the song about pie.
Pie.
So while yes, there is great value to entertainment, if it's entertainment for entertainment's sake, that's not going to really teach you a whole lot of value.
Well,
Let me ask you a question.
This isn't entertainment for entertainment's sake. This is entertainment with a desire to get people to be more politically active who normally aren't politically active.
Right,
the
but
busy majority.
The problem is that, first off, I don't think it's the busy majority that's doing this. I think it's the younger people. Jon Stewart and Colbert's audience are targeted almost entirely at the college-age demographic from 18 to 30. And these people are generally not the type that are going to be the, quote, busy majority.
We're plenty busy, thank you.
Yeah, have a kid and tell me how busy you are. Seriously, your busyness level ratchets up.
We're not as busy, but we're still busy.
Yeah, Ajac's no longer online anymore, almost ever. He doesn't post in the Mayhem forums anymore, and anytime I talk to him, I'm like, how are you, Ajac? And he's always like, I'm busy, I'm doing homework. I don't have time for you non-busy losers.
I don't have time for homework! I don't have I barely have time to cook food.
those words were totally put into Ajac's mouth. He never actually said any of that.
Thank you for the honesty, Xepharon.
Hang on a sec. What's this?
It's our mocha-flavored Via. It's
Like a little sample? Okay, sure, I'll try one.
and there's a
Okay, cool.
Wonderful
Thank
sounds
you.
of commerce.
I was just
order
offered
me
a free sample of this. What is this?
It's our Via Instant Brew.
Via
It's like
Instant
coffee
Brew.
on the go. You can just add your own water or milk like that.
Coffee on the go. Add your own water, little sample thing, and it's according to coupon, save $1 on Starbucks VIA Ready Brew, excluding the 3-pack, and enjoy delicious Starbucks coffee in an instant.
Brought to you by
Order me a
Starbucks.
salted caramel hot chocolate.
They do have caramel on here, but anyway, they got different flavors and stuff. That was pretty cool. So, back on target.
So, my thing about
Bunnycast, brought to you by Starbucks.
Jon Stewart and Colbert, they're great for introducing the idea of being politically active, but
The Bunnycast, brought to you by ADD.
Anyway, as you were saying,
More accurate.
Truth in advertising.
they don't actually do a whole lot when it comes to actually having political issues being deeply delved. They're great entertainment. I love them. Love it with, like Colbert had on the Colbert Report, Cookie Monster, when he, there was the big to-do about cookies are sometimes food. But I want cookies to be an anytime food! No, cookies are sometimes food! I better go. Elmo is driving today, and he's in a no parking zone.
I remember that,
That
actually.
was so freaking funny.
I did
I
not
have got
actually
to
get to
see
see
this
that one. I'll have to look it up online. But no, I'll admit, I'll be the first one to admit this is not the best form of political activism. But you've got to take a baby step at some point. And if you can do that while being entertained, bully for you.
Right. Now, the thing is, for instance,
Say no to bullying.
I would never introduce anybody to Clavin on the Culture as this is a good introduction to conservative politics, even though it is a heavily conservatively slanted political stand-up comedy short that you can find on PGA TV. That's not a good introduction because all he's doing is making jokes. It's high entertainment value if you're a conservative, but if you are, say, a liberal or a Democrat or Green Party or whatever, that stuff is directly targeted against. All it's going to do is piss you off because it's not intended for that audience. And what I'm saying is Colbert and Stewart's stuff is not intended to open up discourse. It's intended merely to entertain their target audience. So, yes, they do have stuff that intrudes on the political spectrum. It's just entertainment for entertainment's sake for their target audience, which happens to align politically with them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course it has to be to a certain target audience. You're not going to have anyone watching the show otherwise.
And let's be fair. When I can't speak for Colbert because he's Colbert, but when Jon Stewart, the bulk of his show, yes, is pure entertainment value, aimed at the liberal audience, so on and so forth. But when he actually has an interview, he usually does try to keep as much to the center as possible, and he does give them as much of an opportunity to give a reasonable view of their stance as possible. When he had Eric Cantor on there last week, that was one of the first times that I had looked at Eric Cantor as being a reasonable Republican because Jon Stewart made him seem reasonable.
Or, worse yet, without that target demographic, you're going to have Republicans and Democrats enjoying it together.
Ye gods!
There was a clip
The
that
horror.
he did. Let's see. Oh shoot, I can't remember what it was, but it wound up being there was a something somebody said. It was
I just realized something.
what was that?
We never did greetings and introductions, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wait, you did. Okay, sorry. Wow.
So
Short-term memory. ADD.
I remember back when the South Park thing happened, where they depicted the Prophet Muhammad, and it actually wasn't even him. Of course, there was that idiot that tried to blow up Times Square, and
That whole nonsense.
yeah, Well, Jon Stewart did this actually excellent thing, which I really think more conservatives should get behind as well, where he did this talk and he says, I just have the following thing to say to you, and he gets up from his desk and goes over to where this gospel choir is arrayed in all of their robes, and they start immediately singing, go fuck yourself! Go fuck yourself!
Oh, that was amazing.
I will look that up.
Just to wrap it up, yeah, the rally's happening. It should be, if you're looking for a start to political activism, it should be good for that. If you're looking for a laugh, it should be good for that.
I forgot we were talking about a rally.
Yeah, if you're looking for a little of both, it should be good for that. If you are in the New York City area, you already have transportation. The Huffington Post has promised to provide, quote, as many buses as they can fill.
That's a lot of buses.
Yes.
That's a lot of buses.
So let's wrap up this part of the Bunnycast. We do have to get moving to the next part very quickly. So
I don't know. I like tangenting.
Tangenting is fun, but we
Stay on target.
I've been
Brains.
Dane Helen the LeatherClad. We have had Sir Xepharon the Prepared.
Ash, enjoy yourself.
We also have ChroniclerC and Ajac, and we will see everybody next week.
Pie. Tangent.
Sipping.
Yeah, this podcast has been brought to you by ADD. Truth and advertising. Oh, look at the kitty.
Sometimes I suffer from ADHLAS, attention deficit. Hey, look, a squirrel!